educationist and scholar, how do you think education in India can be more effective?
There are two purposes to education. One is to open the mind. The other is to enable the knowledge seeker, the student, also to make useful contributions to society, enable him or her to make a living. So education has multiple purposes. It must not remain confined to any one of these purposes. Opening the mind is very important because all other things, mind you, it is seeking knowledge. So the mind must be receptive to knowledge. Whatever the knowledge may be, it may be knowledge of 10th century BC or knowledge of 21st century AD. That is the purpose of education.
My name is Swagatam, and my question to you, sir, is what kind of work culture do you think India needs to inculcate to meet its developmental goals?
What is work culture? Work culture simply is that you have undertaken an assignment of work. Now, would you like to do it well, less well, or badly? I think what we need is work culture is a simple thing. We cite all kinds of models. We say, look at the Japanese work culture, look at the German work culture, and you can multiply examples all over the world. But why not look at our own work culture? People who built great edifices in India's past, whether it is the Meenakshi temple or the Taj Mahal, you think they didn't have work culture? What was their work culture? A quest for excellence. That whatever I'm doing, I will do it to the best of my ability rather than say, chalta hai. The chalta hai will not work. You know, your scientists, your scholars must excel for the best.
My question is to you is, what significant writers or books have influenced you in your political career or in general?
Prioritize. Because in each stage of life, you read different people. Ideas emanate from this quest for views of others, and some of them linger, some of them are forgotten. But I would not like to prioritize as to what has influenced me more, what has influenced me less. I think I have, at every stage of life, even today, I keep reading different people, different authors, and I get different kinds of lessons from those readings.
My question is, as a former ambassador to Afghanistan and the vice president of the country, what do you think are the implications for the context of current changes?
Afghanistan is a very unfortunate country. Since almost, now it is more than almost 50 years that it has been in turmoil. I think the solution lies in two sets of things. One, Afghans should be left to decide their own future and the way they want to make their society. It's no good being prescriptive, saying you must do this and you must not do that. Each society has its own choices and it makes them for better or worse. Secondly, located as Afghanistan is surrounded by neighbors, not all of whom are very friendly to Afghanistan or friendly to each other, it is critically important that there is an international consensus on leaving Afghanistan alone. In the case of Afghanistan, two sets of impulses have worked in the last century and a half. One is to profess to help Afghans. The other is to use that to interfere in Afghanistan. What is needed is you curb the second impulse and you focus on the first impulse. Different ideas are being exchanged, continue to be exchanged, but my own reading, my personal reading, is that any attempt to impose a way of life on Afghanistan or how the Afghan state should behave is not going to work. We've got to let it be with the people of that country.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, sir. My name is Grishma Kahane and I am from 3rd year Information Technology. Sir, my question is, How does one deal with various kinds of prejudices at national and social level?
You see, prejudice is it's very easy to attempt to define prejudice, very difficult to actually define prejudice. I go to watch a cricket match and I have an obsession that team A must win. Whereas in actual fact, on that particular day, team B may be playing better than team A. So why should I have that? You see, preference is one thing, prejudice is another. Preference is that my priority would be that my team should win. But if I know from actual visual evidence that my team is not up to the mark, then I should not be obsessed by saying that no, only this should happen, that should not happen. So prejudice, I mean, if once you have an open mind, a receptive mind, a fair mind, a tolerant mind, then prejudices tend to recede into the background. I don't think there is any human being who is prejudiced-less. It is part of the makeup of the human mind, human character. But what we can do, each one of us, is to try to control it, bring it within reasonable limits, and be tolerant to views which are different from our own.
My question to you is, given that India is a secular country, how do we cope with the challenges of communal polarization and religious extremism?
You know, the point is, what do we understand by the term secular? There is a philosophical argument about it, there is a theoretical argument about it, and there is a practical argument about it. Let me start not with the philosophical argument which would find its root in Western philosophical thinking and writing. Let me start with the last one, the ground reality. The ground reality is that we have a society in which people of different faiths and persuasions live side by side. What is the challenge that the society imposes on itself and the state which that society possesses imposes on itself? The challenge is to accommodate. Now, what are the means of accommodation? Accommodation means is that my right to walk on the road outside should be conditioned by my observance of the rules of the road, not conditioned by my name, my height, the color of my skin, the language I speak, or any other factor that you bring in. So, in terms of statecraft, secularism means that the state shall not have a religion of its own, number one. Number two, that the state shall not differentiate between citizens on the basis of religion, and this is written loud and clear in our constitution. Number three, then when it comes to dispensation of the state.
How can a middle class working woman with limited time and family responsibilities help in solving issues like violence against women and injustice and make India a better place?
Discrimination on grounds of sex is forbidden by law. But as we all know, our society suffers from various ailments, and one of them is discrimination on grounds of sex. What is the challenge today? The challenge today is that plus minus 50% of the citizen body, 50% of the workforce, 50% of brain power belong to the female sex. Therefore, and the law is very clear, you cannot discriminate. A good scientist is a good scientist irrespective of the sex of the scientist. A good manager is a good manager. Now, how do we go about it? I think the way I understand it, the challenge is social, and therefore it has to be addressed socially, not necessarily legally. We have prescribed penalties for discrimination on grounds of sex, etc., etc. but we find that this is not producing the desired results. Why is it not producing the desired results? Because this is running headlong into inherited tradition of different segments of society, whether it is society in the north or the south, east or west. They're all the same in regard to these prejudices. New sets of laws have made all the difference. The term empowerment of women does not mean empowerment only in the workplace. Empowerment at home is equally necessary. Thank you very much.